thank you for joining us yet again. It's another exciting moment where we speak about entertainment in a perspective of the movie industry. Joining me now is Musinguzi Godfrey, who is a filmmaker, also the CEO of that is Uganda Film Night, to discuss more on how the film industry around the country is progressing. Thank you for joining us, Godfrey. How are you doing?
I'm good and blessed. How are you?
I'm fine and amazing. Thank you for joining us right here. We could kick it from the maker's perspective. How are you rating the movie industry so far?
Of course, there's record for progress. Of course, the industry right now where it is, it's not like it was 5 years ago. We have interested parties that are now investing into film, the likes of Power Magic, the likes of UCC, and different TV, Top TV, yeah. They're also investing in the film. So it's an amazing opportunity that we are seeing now, foreign investment coming in. Foreign investment, I don't really mean money coming from outside, but I mean money coming from people that used to see us from afar. Yes.
That are now investing.
They're now interested in seeing how much they can put in and how much they can really get out of film. So, which was not the case a few years ago.
Okay then. Yeah. And now we speak about improving local content around the country and how favorably we can compete with the other outside. Our local content, our film texture, is it that satisfactory to the viewer?
Yeah, I have this positive energy that the film industry and the filmmakers have now the quality. We can now confidently say that we have class A, we have B, we have C. Because we totally believe we have those that produce for Power Magic. We all know people that produce for Power Magic. Power Magic goes for quality. So we have people that produce for other content platforms. So we totally believe there is quality and it is pleasing. We only need a few things to be put together so that we can go and compete, because we are competing in different film festivals around the world. Yeah.
And speaking about content, of course, content comes with creativity all around. Yeah. And I don't know, you're going to tell us, before the film is out there, that kind of component that is first drafted to make sure we understand the context. Is it getting feedback, first of all, from the audience, what you give us or what I watch as your content? Do you get even feedback from there?
Surprisingly, when you are doing your first steps in film production, it's always a few people that come together with an idea, come up with a concept, then develop a script. The feedback would come in later, after actually the public has watched the film, or you do what we would call a media review, where people give you feedback. But most cases, the first steps always are one person or three people coming together, develop the script, and then after, look at different elements that help them produce the script. Okay,
and speaking about that content, that visibility that I see as a consumer, earlier on I had laughters with my colleague. I used to see Chikomando, the action movie of a Ugandan, where I just see there is fire coming out of that gun, and I see a different story context, trying to visibly seen to be like we are having a commando, for example, an action of maybe a Nigerian, how it is, or maybe even how the US is doing that action. Then questions are in my mind. How do the other people do it? Why don't I see fire coming out of that gun and I'm seeing fire coming out of Uganda's gun?
Yeah, I totally, actually, no, it's not funny. Actually, I appreciate every effort put together by a filmmaker to produce such a work, because they're showing you they're inspired, they can produce something good. One of the things I want to tell Uganda that we need to appreciate our own. Okay, we need to go with the baby steps. The industry you're trying to compare us with, let's take Hollywood, has lived for 100 years plus. It has lived for years. Uganda is just beginning to embrace the skills of filmmaking to an extent that even the infrastructure is still so weak, the distribution, there's a lot to work on. So if someone comes up with such a film, he's trying to show you that we can do it if we are given the necessary resources. So I appreciate Actually, every Ugandan should appreciate what we have right now. The problem is you're comparing us with an industry that has lived on for years. For years. This is an industry that reads a box office of $1 billion. Yet for us, we are even still struggling to make 20 million shillings through box office.
Okay, and what drives you telling us that story? What drives your creativity around film making? Because I do understand that as public, at least we have to compare. We make comparisons. At some point, I will still judge the film I watch here. I'll still judge it with the other side. But again, I will try to understand what is happening here. I'll try to understand. Whereas you could rate for us what is happening around here. How would you rate in that context? At least you began with highlighting for us that journey we have so far walked. But how would you rate the film industry around the country, given the fact that consumers are judgmental?
No, I agree with you at a certain point, but one thing I also have to say is that human beings are very funny beings. Yes. Whatever you give them, they will always try to compare and contrast. Especially when you come to Africans. Africans will always look out for the best because you know what? Sources of information that flow, that produces or delivers information into our continent are so many. And our structures or policies do not even govern them. So what the challenge here is that we have so much good content coming in on a free basis.
Okay.
Yes, and yet we have this young filmmaker who is struggling to make a film out, maybe using a budget of 5 million shillings or 10 or 20 million shillings. Now you have this film coming in from Hollywood, a blockbuster coming in with a budget of $300+ million. We're talking about $1 million. So these are going to compete on the market. So definitely the eye will look out for the best. So you stay in this corner of being judged and also compared, which is a challenge. And when we come back to distributors or exhibitors, for example, the TVs here, TVs don't appreciate our work at a certain level because you have seen a national television showing a new Hollywood film that is still in theaters, broadcasting it on its airwaves, yet it's also in cinemas. So how do you expect a cinema person to do business while also a national TV is showing a free film for free? In cinemas, it's at 20,000. On TV, you're watching it for free. So the two parties are competing.
Okay.
And the other station or the other cinema is also paying taxes. You get? So there's also that. They must be will to accept that, you know what, we need to support this. It is our own and we need to build it.
It's like you're putting that on the quality you convey as filmmakers or as that film production. What more challenge does it come with or has it come with when it regards, in regards to reaching the people?
The challenges would be the exhibition places. Yeah, because right now Uganda has a record of 6 to 7 cinemas around the country, but none of them has a program for Ugandan film.
Okay.
Yeah, so these 7 cinemas around the whole country, they are exhibiting Hollywood films. So Ugandan films don't have a platform. It's just in 2016 I came up with a project called Uganda Cinema Night, specifically tailored to showcase Ugandan films at Uganda National Culture Center. And the purpose is that can the public begin to appreciate our own? Can we have a platform or a space that exhibits Ugandan films at a certain fee before they put it on DVD? Because DVD sales don't make money. Film can only make money through exhibition, cinemas or theaters. Yes. Okay. So that's one of the challenges we're facing. Cinemas do not appreciate our local content.
Okay, then we're going to get that, and maybe we're going to learn from you how can we improve that perspective.
TVs should come on board directly. Yes.
But then, from a filmmaker perspective, I understand, I tend to believe, telling a story, I don't know, is it passion? Does it come from a situation that you have encountered with in your growing up? Why did you get inspired, to go filmmaking?
One of the things that inspire filmmakers is passion. They begin with passion. And then because as a filmmaker, you become a cultural steward, as someone that passes on history or storytelling to another generation. We are the only sector, actually we are the only maybe industry that keeps the pride of a country. Filmmakers or creative artists, they are the only people that keep the pride of a country through telling their journey as a culture or as a generation. So inspiration is passion, and then when you get into the business, you get to know the principles that govern this whole industry, and at the end of the day, you end up acquiring skills of doing film as a business.
Okay then, and speaking about doing film as a business, is the film industry a level where someone has to make decision or can call it a business, or do makers realize profits? Do you see even profits in what you're doing?
Yes, we do, but not on a large scale as expected. Okay. Yes, we would. Today we have, like I told you, if we have Palm Magic or MultChoice Uganda investing billions of money into the Ugandan film industry, commissioning big projects. Today we have 2 stations that broadcast local content on Palm Magic or MultChoice. That is Palm Magic Prime and Palm Magic. That is a step forward. That shows you that it is worth investing in. We have one Ugandan filmmaker, Lukman Ali, who has made it to the Netflix. That is something that we need to celebrate as Ugandans. We have a lot of young people employed in this industry. Me, myself, I am employed in this industry. I don't have any other job I do. So I understand film.
It's your full-time?
Yes, it's my full-time job. I do film, and to an extent I've even been appointed as the chairman of the Oscars committee for Uganda. So that means we can also compete at the Oscars on the international level, and this means there's a lot of investment that we can attract if we have an opportunity to compete at the Oscars.
What opportunities comes with the competition or engaging onto Oscar platform? One,
there's tourism. Tourism industry is boosted, and through that we have infrastructure built. We can attract investors. Or we also have collaborations. Our local filmmakers can be able to collaborate with foreign filmmakers, and that calls in for money. There's a lot of money that is invested in film. If a film is being shot here, for example, Queen of Katarina, we can talk about Queen of Katarina. It was supposed to be shot here 100%, but just because of a few things, the 75% was shot in South Africa, using the same sceneries that look like Uganda. So we missed out on some things. We can talk about the girl in the yellow jumper that has gone on Netflix. That is money coming in. So this filmmaker may not struggle again making film. There's employment. There's the whole thing about the film investment is infrastructure. Hotels are boosted. Administration is boosted. Everything as far as investment is concerned. So that builds the economy, and at the end of the day, the country's economy is boosted, the filmmaker is boosted, and the structures themselves are strengthened.
And speaking about the Queen of Katarina as a film that was supposed to be at least made here, some of the features, from what I know, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that the authorities or stakeholders around the film industry maybe wanted a bigger percentage of investment of funds to be around, to be given to allow them shoot around the country. So they ended up limiting, that ended up limiting ourselves as a country. Am I right or wrong?
Yeah, that has happened.
To what extent should we control our greed?
I will not call it greed. I would call it maybe lack of the knowledge of the film industry.
Okay,
yeah, business, because there's no way you can double task a film or task a film that has come here to employ Ugandans. They're investing around $15 million in your economy, and you actually don't embrace that. We've lost a lot of films. We've lost Entebbe. There's a film called Entebbe, if I may not have the title right, which was supposed to be shot here, fully here at the Entebbe Old Airport, and the authorities refused. Then Malta just heard of the story and said, you know what, we can construct for you Entebbe Old Airport in our country, and you can shoot as long as you're using our own people, you're using everything. And that is what has happened all the time. We've lost out, as a country, we've lost out on a lot of things. Black Panther.
Because of the authority.
Yes, because of the authority. There's a lot of double taxing of people that bring in film here.
Okay.
When we try to attract foreign investors, they don't find any tax rebate, they don't find any incentives to help them shoot films from here.
All right, and we're going to take a break. When we do return, we discuss more in regards to investing into the movie industry, and also, is it a career that you would want to be interested in or a part of? We take a break, we do return.